Hi everyone, happy Sunday. I know I paint a lot of trees, but I just couldn't resist painting an orange one, a fall one. Some of the trees around here are so beautiful. And I was like, oh my gosh, not another tree is what everybody's probably saying, but I just had to paint an orangey fall colored one. So I think what I'll do is, let's see, I'm going to keep my angle brush out because that's so good for that crisp line for some branches and things. And then for the majority of it, I'm going to grab my two round brushes and just have those handy. What I'm kind of thinking to myself right now, though, is maybe I'll use a sponge. So let's go and see what we do. The palette I'm using, you can use your Mylane palette, the Paul Rubens Mylane. You know, I love that one. It has all the colors. So we can just go ahead and spray that one, get that one going and ready. And then the other palette I have sitting here is my Floral palette because I really am loving these orangey colors. I also like their, let's see, what color is that? It's called Yellow Sienna Deep, and I really like that. It's just a beautiful light sienna. So I'm liking that. I like the burned brown for the tree trunk. I think that's really cool. Not going to use those. So this Indian yellow is one of my favorite ones in this, the Paul Rubens floral kit. But again, you can use, you know, your regular Mylane palette has all these beautiful oranges. So use those, even some of the red oranges. And then you've got your really beautiful browns. So either palette is just perfectly fine. I am painting on my Artisto paper today. This is 140 pound cold press. You know, I love this palette. I mean, this paper, it's just been such a lifesaver and makes me so happy to hear how many of you are using it. And I catalog these. So this is actually my very last sheet, and I will catalog this fall on the front of the cover, and then I just stick it. I have a whole collection of these, and next fall I can bring it out and take a look at it. So I love these. All right. Let's go ahead and get started. And I think I will actually, I have these brushes here in case I want to add a little something, but I think I'm going to, for the most part, just let's make it easy. Let's sponge on some of these colors. So I'll start with that beautiful Indian yellow that I love. And I'm just going to, there's just something about using sponges, don't you think? It's so easy, like bam, there's a tree. I love it. The tree, there's some of these trees around here. You know, I'm in California, so we don't get a lot of the change, but we do get a little. And then I think I will add in some of that permanent yellow. That's a really pretty color too. Just to give a few highlights. My tree's getting awfully big here, guys. And then I'll go into the permanent orange. Yeah, I want a little bit more of that. A little bit more. Ooh, look at there. So I'm going to kind of use that. Look how gorgeous. Oh, I'm so glad I did this. I was looking around this morning. I was like, man, I have not done a really fall beautiful tree. I need to do that. Don't know if I'll go into any reds, but you know what I might do? Let's rinse my sponge here. And I think I'll go in with just a tiny bit of that Yellow Sienna Deep. It doesn't show up a lot anyway, so I'm not real worried about getting too much of that, if it shows up at all. It's pretty transparent. Oh, yeah, it does, though. Look at that. Okay, yeah, that was what I was kind of hoping for. I don't want to sponge too much because then I might end up with just a big blob. And then let's go in for our tree trunk. And I think, let me look at my little swatch. This is why this is so handy. I think I'll use this Cypress Brown Deep and the Van Dyke Brown. So funny, because I never used to really use those swatch diaries. And once I started using them, I'm obsessed. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so much better. Because how many times have you grabbed a paint and put it on your paper and you're like, ooh, that's not quite the right color? I do anyway. So look at this wonderful chisel line I can get. And then I can also get that type of line. So I'm just going to kind of spread it out here. And if that's too, perfect for you, you can always go in with your 8 and just kind of blur it out there. I might even want to use a tiny bit of that brown with maybe some of that yellow sienna and just go in here. Now, when I do that, I'll also, but really you could just use the sponge. So don't, you don't have to do this, but I do kind of like just creating some nice shadowy type areas. I'm gonna rinse my brush and just make that a little bit softer line. I think that adds a little something to it. If you end up not liking that, you can always go in, and blot it out. But I like adding in some of that shadow. I have a whole playlist for trees and things too, by the way. Let's create a couple more of those lines. Maybe kind of sticking out here and there. This brush is so handy though for this type of application because it can really get a nice fine line. So, I'm basically done, and look at how fun that was. If you want, you can always go along the bottom edge and just kind of, with some clean water, pull that out. Just for a little something down there. Make it look like some dirt. Look how fun. All right, you guys, I hope you give that a try. I just couldn't end the fall season without doing a little something like that. I can always go back in, add more oranges, add brighter, oops, sorry for that camera shake, add some brighter colors, but I really wanted to keep it kind of simple and, bright but simple. All right, there we go. Ooh, although before I hang up, it would be really pretty in here. I know you guys always write me about this. Be really pretty with some gold metallic in it. Haha, I might play with that when I hang up. All right, guys, have fun. I will list all my supplies down below. If you are still interested in my brushes, I think there's maybe 20 sets left. So, that's this little set that you saw, and happy painting. Thanks for being here with me.